Hello and namaste. My name is Tim Halloran and this is a weekly astrology forecast. This is for the first week of October. Today is Monday, the final day of September, the 30th. The moon is in Leo. We've got a Venus square Mars that's still fizzling. And this Friday we have a new moon in 12 degrees of Libra. So let's quickly reflect on the weekend. It was a very fiery weekend. The moon has been in Leo, and we've had this Venus in Scorpio square to Mars in Leo. Tonight, the moon is going to swing by and conjunct that Mars, still square to Venus, so we could have a final fizzling out of the very active transits that have been happening over the weekend. It was a weekend of great passion, of great energy at our disposal, and there has been great creative potential. And of course, wherever there is great potential, there is also great tension. And this tension, being between Venus and Mars, could have been between the sexes, could have been between the female and male energetic aspects, could have been between the action, eventful, what we gotta do, the work we gotta achieve, the goal that I must reach, versus our relationships and our emotions and our intimacy. And there has been a lot of friction there, which is very good for getting stuff done and coming up with solutions to problems. And we still have that energy at our disposal, but it is now fading out throughout the next few days. Tomorrow, the moon will enter Virgo. We have a nice Mercury trine to Neptune over the next couple days. A good time for dreaming. Might be having some more out there dreams, might be daydreaming, setting our eyes on the goals, getting in tune with the big picture that we want to manifest in this world. And indeed, the month ahead is going to be a very adequate time for reaching out and making connections with others. If you remember last week, I called it the week of show and tell. Well, it's really a month of show and tell. It's a month of communication, expanding, getting out there and making new connections and new friends. And the reason we're doing this is together we're manifesting a new world, because the old ways are falling apart. And we are agreeing in our disagreement with the problems of the past. So let's look at this new moon happening at 8:35 on Friday in 12 degrees of Libra. Well, this new moon is going to be falling in the grand kite, the grand square formation that has been a long-term aspect. It is the dissolving of the old paradigm, the dissolving of the old system, the old establishment, the old government. We're moving on. We're finding problems with the old ways, and we're trying to seek solutions. And with this new moon being in Libra, the solutions are going to be with groups, with friends, with the collective. Now, also happening simultaneously as this new moon, Mercury moving through Scorpio now will be conjunct the North Node and Saturn. And this aspect is very serious. Our minds are going to be thinking very passionately. We're not going to be satisfied with mundane solutions. We're going to be digging beneath the surface, exposing the problems, revealing the severity of some of the problems that we need to have solved. And we're really going to be diving in there. You know, so this Friday and this weekend, we might feel a little serious. Things might seem a little intense or a little heavy. And that's because that Mercury is driving us to find solutions. And these solutions are going to only be found as soon as we start incorporating other people. That's really what this new moon is all about. It's happening at 12 degrees of Libra, the Sabian symbol for which is miners surfacing from a deep coal mine. If you remember me talking about the last few months, we've really been digging in, going into the past, going into childhood, finding these root issues and wounds and digging them up to the surface. And indeed, this is the coal miners rising with these bits of coal. But the thing is, some of this coal might contain diamonds. We're coming back with jewels from the mines. And that's why it's very important that we're sharing our experiences, we're talking, we're using our throat chakras, and we're getting into our discomfort zones because we're meeting with people that we're not familiar with. Some people might be reflections that are similar to us, and some people we might be meeting are very different from us. And either way, they are coming into our lives now to help us, to teach us, and to show us and reveal to us the aspects of reality we may have forgotten. So this new moon in Libra is opposite Uranus in Aries, which is the individual truth, the individual genius. And these are both T-square to Pluto opposite Lilith, which is the changing of the time, the changing of the system, the establishment, the government, the communities. You see, the problem is it was always a competition. It was always a fight for yourself. Dog eat dog world. And we're realizing that there's a lot of problems with that. Indeed, competition is a bit of an animal behavior. And if we want to truly evolve, we need to be working together. We need to be working collaboratively. We need to be forming communities. And indeed, we are all human beings in bodies walking upon the same planet, underneath the same stars. If we cannot find a universal language and a universal system through which we can all communicate, we are failing evolution. And that's what this Libra time is really all about. We're meeting all these different pieces of the puzzle and we're trying to put the puzzle together. Libra is language, it's the written word. And indeed, we may be finding that a lot of our differences aren't actually that different. It may be cultural, it may be language oriented, and it's like we're trying to work through our miscommunications. That's really what this weekend is. It's a lot of tension brushing up against each other and then coming together. Oh yes, well we were just miscommunicating, or maybe I didn't understand your truth. And this is a delicate balance we're trying to do right now, because the fact is we do have unique core truths. And that unique truth is individual, it is yours alone. And that core truth must not be sacrificed for other people, because that core truth must in fact be in service to the group. And that's what we're trying to figure out right now. We're not trying to eliminate each other's core truths, we're trying to use each other's core truths in service to the whole. And indeed, this is the way the future establishment is going to be. It's going to be much less my business versus your business. We're going to shut you out and be more, we have one business, which is an umbrella under which all of our unique services can stand and work together. So we're discovering universal problems, and therefore they will have universal solutions. We are discovering that there is separation. And where there is separation, there is bound to be conflict. With this Mercury in Scorpio conjunct the North Node and Saturn, there could be some conflict. There can be that, that's a problem. That doesn't work with me. That doesn't work. And we should not be trying to prevent conflict. Indeed, we live in a time where there is great separation, the Kali Yuga. But I've heard some people say that, oh yes, we live in the Kali Yuga, the age of separation. There is no point in trying to end separation. And I think that's kind of missing the mark here, because we're not trying to perpetuate the Kali Yuga. We're not trying to ignore the fact that there is the Kali Yuga. We do live in a time of separation. There is all this diversity of culture and religion, but we're not trying to perpetuate that. We're trying to find underlying truths through which we can tie together all these different aspects. And it's not saying we're going to eliminate these different aspects. It's not saying that religion is now useless and we're moving beyond it. It's that we're saying, oh yes, different religions can coexist within a universal language, within a universal religion. The old age was my religion versus your religion. Your name of your God is different than the name of my God, therefore you're wrong and you must be destroyed, or I'm going to ignore you and pretend you don't exist, or believe that you're going to go to hell or something like that. And it's no, you can have a different name for God, but God is God. And every religion agrees that God is God, and every religion has the same definition of what God ultimately is. So there is a universal language, there is a universal religion, and this is what we're seeking right now, and this is what's going to tie all the different pieces together. So this weekend, although the conversations may not be comfortable, and the people that are coming into our lives now may not be comfortable to us, because we're getting new ideas. We're meeting new energies, coming from places, coming from avenues, coming from traditions that are unfamiliar to us, that represent something that we have not known in the past. And we should be expecting this, and we should be ready to embrace the differences between us, so that when conflicts arise, that is not a problem. So let's remember this weekend, it's a really genius time. It's really a time of making breakthroughs, of realizing things that we never realized before. It's a time to do something different, a time to invent something new. that's the nice thing about getting exposed to these aspects of reality that are foreign to us, is we are given an opportunity to create new solutions that we weren't capable of making in the past. You know, let's put all the pieces together. And this is what alchemy is. You know, we're really doing this kind of ingenious breaking apart of all the pieces to form some kind of chemical reaction to create an outcome that everyone can benefit from. And you know, people may be saying like, oh, that doesn't work and that's stupid, and we may be getting criticized and we may be criticizing other people, but let's keep in mind that this is all part of the alchemical process as we seek and explore these different aspects and fuse them all together into one solution. So we're all returning from the coal mine right now. We're all coming up from the karmic past, and we've got all this coal. But we've also got a diamond in there. Each one has their own unique gem. So let's go through this coal, find our diamonds, pull them out, expose them to one another, show and tell, use our throat chakra to sing our truth, and then perhaps we can invent something new. Put all of this gold and all this jewelry together into some kind of machine to create a portal, to create a future that will be different, that will solve all the problems and move us into the next step of evolution. Never could have been something we planned for or anticipated until now. So I wish you the best this week. The new moon being during the first week of the month is really going to give us an idea of what the month is ahead. 2 weeks from this Friday, we're going to have a full moon in Aries. It's again going to be tied in with the same theme, letting our core individual truth serve the good of the collective. And I have to quickly mention again that due to the amount of time that I put into this astrology videos and website maintenance and all that, I'm going to have to raise my prices at the end of October. So if you've been contemplating buying a chart report, before the end of October may be a good time. Many blessings this week and good luck finding the missing pieces of the puzzle. Namaste.